7 days ago, I had a $17 product, a Facebook group that I wasn't even a member of, and a plan I had never tested or executed before. Today, I'm going to show you step by step exactly what I did and how you can do the same thing too. Because here's what I want you to understand. And before I get down into the exact list of how I did it, you need to understand that I didn't have a big audience. I didn't have a big email list. I simply had a strategy which I applied carefully in the right place, at the right time, and in front of the right people. And this is something that you can do too. So let's get into it without further ado. First things first is when it comes to these things that you need to ensure that you have a plan. If you just are going to wing it, it's not going to work. So the way in which I did it is I needed to come up with some kind of an offer. And with that offer, I made a funnel. So I started off with, let's say here, this is my $17 digital product. Now my digital product here was a masterclass. There we go. My $17 digital product was an actual masterclass. Now from that masterclass, what would happen is I would put out the post. From the post, people would purchase this masterclass. And then I had an upsell. So that upsell was I have created a journal creator AI app. And that was $27. When they then got that, they were then ready and ready for the masterclass. At the end of the masterclass, I then upsold them again into my planner to profit community. And that is my school community. And that was at $97. And at the end of that, I then had another offer for those that wanted one-to-one, done with you, done for you packages. So that was anywhere from, we're talking $349 all the way to $997. So those are my packages. So this was the simple funnel which I built. Now my source of traffic was Facebook groups. See, Facebook is not dead by any means. Facebook groups are lit. I'm going to say that again. Litty lit lit. Now, if you can find a Facebook group that has your target audience in, my friend, you are winning. So how I went about doing it is I had promo. I bought paid promo. But not only that, I also used organic positioning. And I'm going to talk a bit more about how I did it. Another thing that I also took advantage of is I took advantage in the Facebook group. They have something called Freebie Fridays. What is that? That is every single Friday you can post a free product. Now I use this strategically to what? Build my email list. I also used it to advertise myself. So if you get a product, the same product which I'm teaching you how to build in this $17 masterclass, I'm giving you the same kind of product, but you are also getting to have a look at my work. You're getting into my ecosystem. So now I can convert you. Now I can, all my launches or when I drop journals and things like that, you're the first to know. I can do all my offers towards you. And this, at the end of it, all of this coupled together was how I was able to generate over 4 figures and counting in 7 days. Now, I know that you're probably thinking, and I hear a lot of people say all the time, well, people think that you need thousands of followers to be able to do this. And that is not the case. Let me tell you something. If you find an audience, it could be a small audience, it could be a big audience, but if they are hungry for what it is that you have to offer, you will be absolutely fine. You just need to get your product, your offer in front of the right audience. And I also want you to remember as well, you don't need to charge massive amounts of money. You can do it with a low ticket and a high ticket product. But with this low ticket product, $17, it generated real income. And the thing as well is because I had a system behind it, that I was able to generate more than, let's say, for example, a $297 course could do. And finally, I just want to talk to you as well, people that say, I'm not ready for this, I'm not ready that. There are people who are missing out on opportunities right now because they're waiting to feel ready. I'm going to let you know right now, you are never going to be ready. It's better you put out something that is imperfect than waiting for something to be perfect and you've wasted 6 months, 12 months, and nobody's looking for what you have to offer anymore. It's better you put out something that's imperfect and you can what? Perfect it later on. All right. So let's keep going. I'm going to talk down step by step my exact strategy. First and foremost, I had to build my funnel. I built it before I now drove traffic to it. Let's talk about this in a bit more. Now, as you may know, as I mentioned before, Facebook groups are absolutely powerful if you find the right one. There is such a thing as borrowing audiences. I don't have a massive audience. I have a very, very small audience. Particularly on Facebook, I barely have an audience. So I borrowed an audience. I borrowed an audience that were highly engaged. They also were hungry for what it is that I had to offer. So it was perfect. So I built my funnel. I actually used System.io to build my funnel. And I built this from scratch. I built a sales page. For my sales page, I then had an upsell page. For my upsell page, it then had an order form where they then paid for it. And then they were tagged. And when they were tagged, they were automatically put into an email campaign. And that campaign was to nurture them, warm them up, keep them engaged. And when it was time for the actual masterclass, by the end of the masterclass, they're engaged because they've seen what they've been able to build in the however many minutes or hours that we're locked into the masterclass. And then they were ready to go into the community because they want more of it. So build your funnel before you drive traffic. I also want to liken this to faith. Like, you know, if you want to, I had a number in my mind of how many people I wanted to sign up. I remember saying to God, I want this many people to sign up. And God exceeded that. So build it. If you want the people, build the container. And that's exactly what I did. I built the funnel so that the system works for me in the back end. Second thing, you need to find the right room. Research Facebook groups, okay? There are hundreds of thousands, probably even millions of Facebook groups, and they're about so many different topics. You can imagine there are people in these groups who want what you are offering. The question is, are you there and are you presenting what you have that could help them? So I found the right room in a particular Facebook group that had over 350,000 members, and it was growing by 1,000, 2,000 every single day. New eyes, and they were highly engaged. They had a great team. Their team is on point. Their moderators, the admin, they're on point. They really run a really tight ship. So if you can find a good Facebook group, you're almost there. Third thing, before I posted anything about my $17 product, don't just go posting. I had to actually position myself as an expert. And I was going to say right now, type position in the comment section. And I'm saying that because it's super important. You have to position yourself as an expert, position yourself as an authority figure. So how did I do that, and how can you do that? I did it by answering simple questions. People came on asking questions about how do I do this? How do I do that? Has anybody ever done this? And I simply went in and I just gave them answers. I didn't give them 1, 2, 3 bullet points. I was detailed. I made them feel like I genuinely cared about that. When they put a question, I was like, hey, so and so, and I said, I wish you all the best. Every single time I finished, I was told, I wish you all the best. Like, go out there and kill it. Go out there and accomplish great things. I made them feel so special that my response stood out to other people's. And that's how I did it. So I'm sure you're going to be asking, well, how long did you do it for? I did it for about a good 5 days. A good 5 days. I went because I had to watch how the group operated. How did they maneuver? Every group is different. There are some similar things, but you need to bear in mind the rules. You need to bear in mind things like days when they have promo. Are you allowed to drop links in or not? So you have to watch these things. So that's what I did. The more that I began to answer people's questions, not wanting anything in return, the more they were seeing me, the more my points, because there's such a thing as points on Facebook, contributor points, they were going up. So that means that I was given a title. So all-star contributor, rising contributor. So that label in itself says something that this person contributes in this group. So I want to encourage you, before you get in there and post your link, post your product, position yourself as an authority, as an expert. Do it for, maybe 2 to 5 days and then move in for the real meat. The next thing that I did is I then decided that I was going to study the posts that went viral in that particular Facebook group. Now, this is super, super important, because what I didn't want to do is go and post and my post falls absolutely flat. I went in there with intent and I studied every post in the last 2 months that got the most number of likes, the most number of shares, the most number of comments, engagement. And I looked at the format. Was it a video? Was it a text-based post? Because when it comes to Facebook groups, you'll find that there are particular formats that do really, really well. So I literally opened up a Notion doc and I literally screenshotted all of the posts that went viral or were doing really good. I plonked them in there and then I fed that into Claude. And I said, Claude, help me come up with a posting strategy for this particular Facebook group. And I told it exactly what the Facebook group is about. I told it my offer when I was running the masterclass, etc. And it came up with a time frame of posts that we were going to do. I made sure as well that I had a mix in there of video posts as well as text-based posts. Now, video posts do very well. And one of my first video posts really went viral, to be honest. I had over 300 comments. I had so many shares. I had people, even till this day, typing learn, 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 because they want to learn exactly how I did what it is that I showed them in the video. So this was super powerful, because every single person that comments learn, I just say, hey, come on down to our masterclass or our workshop and you're going to learn everything about how I was able to do it, and you can do it as well. I made sure as well that I changed up my post, like changed up my responses, because you're going to make sure, Facebook doesn't catch you out or think that you're a bot or shadow ban you. So I had to be very, very careful about that. Next thing as well is my timing as well. As I said, I used Claude to help me build out a time frame. So I had to make sure that this is the day of my masterclass. And I could only post twice a day. Okay, I could only post twice a day. So I had to make sure that every post counted and was calculated down to the T. The time, the wording, the comments, everything. It was already pre-planned. So I did all of that and I put it into a Notion doc. So wherever I was going out and about doing work, whenever I posted, I knew what time I needed to post. I knew what comments I needed to add, what links I need to add. And I was there and ready with responses. So as soon as somebody said me interested, boom, I copied and pasted the response right there. And I always made sure that I mentioned their name. I called out their name. I spoke to them like a real human being. I didn't want it to feel like it was a bot responding. No, I'm a real person. So whenever they said things like, this is me, but I'm finding trouble, doing this. And I said, tell me more. Tell me more. Let me see how I can help. I didn't just go in there with my offer of, come and sign up to my masterclass. I used conversation. And let me show you something as well. There are pros and cons to dragging people and saying, hey, look at your inbox, as opposed to posting publicly. When people can see things publicly, they may have the same query, the same question. And if they see you answering that and how you've dealt with it, that's good points, like brownie points for you. I remember I had a post where somebody said something that was quite negative. And I just said, look, that's your opinion. Two things can be true at the same time, but that's your opinion and that's why I'm here. And as much as I was like, should I take this into the inbox? I was like, no, let them see that it's okay, that I can be professional and things like that. And I think that makes you more human. All right, let's move on to the next step. Now, the next step that I had was this group had something called Freebie Fridays. As I mentioned here, I used Freebie Fridays to build my email list. I kid you not. Now, what I did on Freebie Friday is I dropped a journal template into the group. And when I tell you, oh my goodness, that post went crazy. My website went crazy. I have never heard my Shopify ching, 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 24 hours straight. It was ching, 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 ching. Literally, I can't lie, it was crazy. I had 536 people download my freebie. And when I went back and I checked all the other freebies as well, mine was one of the popular ones, okay? And I liked that because people had been seeing me post in the group. I positioned myself as an expert, an authority figure. And not only that, it was perfect. They now could grab something free from me. But not only that, but this was really the underlying tone is I wanted them in my ecosystem. You are now in my ecosystem. Enjoy the product, but you're now in my ecosystem. And what I did is that when they got my journal, now I present my journals in a Notion doc. So all the links that they need to access my journals in Canva, the interior pages, any extra information, I put in the Notion doc. Now at the end of the Notion doc, I said to them naturally, hey, do you want to learn how to create this? Awesome. I'm having a live masterclass on such and such date. It costs $17. You are going to leave this masterclass knowing how to build XYZ. And I put the link. So a number of people came into the masterclass that way. See, you literally got to hit them I literally hit them from every angle, like every corner, like y'all ain't gonna miss me today. I literally hit them from every angle and every corner. And once they were in my list, I used System My Own. I had already pre-planned and pre-built a campaign for them. So anybody who wasn't convinced about coming to the masterclass, the $17 masterclass, I had a series of emails which was nurturing them and speaking to them. I was telling them, hey, I'm going to come back tomorrow and I'm going to tell you exactly why you may be struggling with this. That worked a charm too, because while I'm sleeping, while I'm out and about living life and doing what I need to do, in the back end, my funnel, which I built, was working for me beautifully. All right. So I also just want to say to you, I also took that kind of tip from Alex Hormozy. There's something that he mentions about giving away value. Giving away value. I can't lie. There was one point where my phone just kept going ching, 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 ching. And I was like, hold on. 536 people have downloaded my freebie. And I was like, if they had paid the real amount, do you know how much I would have made? But I said, it's not about that. It's not about that. I need them. They are now leads. I can now talk to them and get to understand what are their problems. I can now serve them more offers and more things. That's more valuable because now they get to see the quality of my work. So don't get hung up about, well, I need to get paid. No, give value and then come with the offer. Trust me. So that freebie list was actually a very warm list for me because they'd already seen my work. Let's move on. Now, the next thing for me that I did is I worked with those leads. So I had a system. I'd already built in a series of email campaigns to speak to them every single day up until the day of the masterclass, so that they could, they had an opportunity to get to know me a little bit. I also as well sprinkled in there a couple sales like, hey guys, I've got this offer, or this journal is on this price. I'm giving away this journal, pay what you want, go ahead and grab it. And people did, people clicked and stuff like that. So once they're in your ecosystem, you can do what you want. And then once I was in the masterclass itself, I then upsold them into my Planner to Profit community. This is a no-brainer. And why this is a no-brainer is because if you want more help, if you want more mentorship, if you want coaching calls, if you want courses, if you want apps and all these other kind of things, everything you need to succeed is in the Planner to Profit community. And that meant they had more access to me. So really and truly, it was a no-brainer. And that's one of the things that you want to do as well, is you want to have a no-brainer upsell that literally, that's just the next natural step. Okay, so let us recap really quickly. I had a $17 digital product, and that was a masterclass. And that masterclass was about teaching people. It was my entry level. You want to make journals, you want to build a journal, you want to publish on Amazon KDP, you want to make sales, marketing, AI, the whole works. I then had my journal creator AI app, which was exclusive. I made this doesn't exist anywhere else. I made this exclusively for my audience to help them create journals in minutes, to help them make the process so much faster. So it was an exclusive. As soon as they purchased the $17 product, this popped up on the next page. Like, hey, well, you might as well get this since you came to the masterclass. And it was a no-brainer. For most people, it's a no-brainer. And they now have gone from a $17 product to I've now got a $17 and a $27 product. So they have already spent how much with me, okay? And then on the masterclass itself, and I love masterclasses. And hold on, I'm going to talk to you a bit more about masterclasses and why masterclasses are genius things to do. All right, so the next thing is, and I then put them into my Planner to Profit community. Now, this is if they wanted growth. So people that is like, I want to build more income, but I also want access to you. I want that daily accountability that this community offers, a school community. So that was a natural thing. And not only that, I also had people who inboxed me and said, hey, like, do you offer mentorship? Do you offer one-to-one packages? And through that, I was able to work with some people directly. So that as well, I was able to push them into my 349 offer or my 997 offer. So I want to encourage you that if you do it this way, literally you take exactly step by step what I did, implement it, and you will find like it's super easy. So here's what you're going to do. I'm going to give you a 7-day step-by-step plan of how you can replicate exactly what I did. Number 1, identify a Facebook group where your ideal client persona, that is your target audience, where they live. Awesome. Step 2, study that group. Take 2-3 days, study them. Open a Notion doc, take notes, do screenshots, grab what you can. Put it in there, and then you can then take that document. So you put in there everything that, all the posts that have gone viral, the way they're written, how many shares it got, what kind of things are people asking in the group. I then fed this into AI. Use Claude, ask it, analyze these posts. Tell me why and how they are going viral. You will notice is a certain style and way they speak. For example, this audience that this audience in this Facebook group, there's a certain way of speaking that they gravitate towards, which is why I was saying, take time, take a couple of days, study how people are writing in this group. The next one is offer value. Offer some value and trust me, it will pay you back. Number 4, design your freebie. It doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be massive. It could be something you can generate in AI in like 2 minutes. But make sure you offer something of quality, okay? Make sure it shows what you can do. Because people will now see that and think, wow, like she's offering this as a freebie? I wonder what like her masterclass is going to be like. Imagine the value I'm going to leave. Number 5 is post the freebie. Find out when they've got free promo days. Post on posts where they say, hey, post your links or whatever. Go ahead and post. Don't be shy, all right? But make sure that you have got your system set up so you're ready. Make sure as well, quick tip, that Facebook group that you have could have thousands upon thousands of people. Make sure that you have enough freebies to go around, because one of the things you don't want people saying, was it sold out that quickly? Literally, like I sold out of over 100 people literally copped my freebie within the first hour. And I'd made the mistake of only putting 100, and people were like, oh my gosh, is it sold out already? Oh no. And I literally had to go in and literally just put 1,000. I was like, I don't know if it's going to go past 1,000, but I'm going to put 1,000 in there. And I was monitoring the amount. And in the end, we had 536 downloads. So, hey. Number 6, prepare your offers. So your posts, prepare all of that ahead of time. It will save you a headache. It will save you day by day thinking, oh my gosh, what am I posting today? No, I was very strategic. I was very focused. I planned everything out beforehand. I did all my thinking work before. So when the day came, I knew what time I was posting. I knew what the text should be. I knew what the video should be. I knew what was happening. I knew everything down to the T. I literally went in, looked at what day it was, what am I posting in the AM, what am I posting in the PM, and I posted that. And then the rest of the day, I just responded to comments and sent them through to my link. And point 7 or day 7, you're going to post your offer. Reply to every single comment. Don't try and, I know there's all these things you can use that can give automated responses, but I found just being myself, creating conversations, having a bit of a laugh, letting them know that I'm real and I care about them. Let that be it. I wasn't quick to just, if they said something like, oh, I've really struggled with this, or I really, really want to come to this. I had conversations with them. I literally struck up conversations. And I remember one of the nicest things that I saw was there was a lady that posted and said, she couldn't afford, she really wanted to come, but she couldn't afford to come. And another lady literally hopped on her post and said, hey, send me your Cash App. I'll send you the money. I'll send you the $17 so you can come. Now, I don't know if she came or what happened, but I was just like, wow. I was like, look at God, that's amazing. And I literally commented and I said, that is the nicest thing. So sweet. So I just want to end by telling you guys this. You got to make sure you are positioned. Got to make sure you've got the right offer for the right people. And don't be afraid. This may feel like, oh my gosh, imposter syndrome may visit you and make you feel like, should I be doing this? All these people have all their eyes on me. I felt like that for a second, but I was like, no, this is what it takes to operate at a different dimension and a different realm. You're going to have to step up. You're going to have to be used to feeling uncomfortable. I knew I had the right group. I knew I had done my research. I knew my offer was solid. I mean, guys, my funnel was on point. This was my funnel, a masterclass funnel. It was on point. And it showed because of the prep work, my research that I did, it showed in the results. 7 days later, I had already generated over 4 figures in sales from what? A $17 masterclass. So hey ho. So I want to encourage you to go and do the same. And just know that you don't need a big audience. Go and borrow an audience. You don't need a perfect product, but you need the right room with the right strategy. And you need to have that willingness to be able to give genuine value, and people will pay you back. All right. And if you're somebody that you're like, man, I've got more questions, like I want you to go deeper into this. How did you do this? How did you do that? Then go ahead and you can come and join us in our Planner to Profit community. I've linked it down below in the description box. Come along and join there, and I've got all things there. We've got things on journal making, we've got journal course, we've got the Journal to AI Creator app, which is exclusive. There's mentorship, there's daily accountability, there's coaching. So come along and learn and grow how you can do this too. And I'll see you guys on the next one.